What if I told you the most anticipated fight in UFC history isn't just about who's the best fighter? Imagine two titans standing at the crossroads of destiny: one, a living legend whose name is etched in both glory and scandal, and the other, a relentless rising star, hungry to make his mark on the world. We're talking about Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. But here's the kicker: this fight isn't just about titles. It's about legacy, reputation, and the future of the entire sport. What's really at stake here? And why is everyone talking about the explosive drama surrounding this matchup? You're about to find out, so buckle up, because this is the fight that could change everything. Imagine a world where Jon Jones, the undisputed GOAT in MMA, teases retirement right after his next fight, possibly leaving the sport without facing the biggest threat to his throne, Tom Aspinall. But why? Is he running from the fight, or is there something else at play? And what about Francis Ngannou, the monster everyone wanted to see Jones fight but never did? Dana White says it wasn't Jones who ducked the fight, but Ngannou himself. What's the real story here? Is this all part of a bigger game that we're just beginning to understand? Stick around, because we're breaking down the drama, the fighters, and what this fight really means for the UFC. Chapter 1: Tom Aspinall, the meteoric rise and the knockout heard around the world. Let's talk about Tom Aspinall, the British juggernaut who's been tearing through the heavyweight division like a man possessed. After a serious knee injury threatened to derail his career, Aspinall came back with a vengeance. The world watched in awe as he obliterated Curtis Blades in their highly anticipated rematch at UFC 304, knocking him out cold just 1 minute into the first round. That's right, 60 seconds was all it took for Aspinall to defend his interim title and remind everyone why he's the most dangerous man in the division. But here's the thing, this isn't just another victory. This knockout earned Aspinall a $100,000 performance of the night bonus. But more importantly, it sent a message to Jon Jones: I'm coming for you. With speed, precision, and power, Aspinall is a nightmare matchup for anyone, even the legendary Jones. But is Jones listening? Or is he too focused on his upcoming bout with Stipe Miocic to see the storm that's brewing? Aspinall's rise hasn't just been about brute force. It's his combination of technique, agility, and intelligence in the Octagon that makes him such a formidable opponent. He's not just knocking people out, he's dismantling them with a level of sophistication rarely seen in heavyweights. His win over Blades wasn't just a victory, it was a statement, one that's echoed throughout the UFC. And if you're Jon Jones, you can't ignore it forever. Chapter 2: Jon Jones, the GOAT, the scandal, and the retirement tease. Now Jon Jones. What can we say about him that hasn't already been said? He's dominated the sport for over a decade, leaving a trail of broken legends in his wake. His transition to heavyweight was nothing short of spectacular, submitting Cyril Gane in the first round to claim the heavyweight title at UFC 285. That victory was supposed to be the final piece of his legacy puzzle, but instead, it's raised more questions than answers. Lately, Jones has been teasing retirement, hinting that his upcoming fight against Stipe Miocic might be his last. But here's where things get interesting. Jones has repeatedly dismissed Tom Aspinall as a potential challenger. Why? Is it because he doesn't see Aspinall as a threat, or is it something deeper? Could it be that Jones, after all these years of dominance, is finally feeling the weight of the crown? Or is this all just a clever game to keep the spotlight on him, even as he contemplates walking away? Jones is no stranger to controversy. His career, as brilliant as it's been, is equally marked by scandals, failed drug tests, legal issues, and suspensions have followed him throughout his career. But despite these setbacks, Jones has always found a way to return to the top. His ability to compartmentalize and focus purely on the fight has been a hallmark of his success. But now, as he edges closer to the end of his career, is he finally showing signs of doubt? Or is this all part of a larger strategy to keep the narrative focused on him, even as the next generation rises? Chapter 3: The Ngannou Factor, the fight that never happened. And then there's the ghost in the room, Francis Ngannou. For years, fans salivated at the thought of Jon Jones v. Francis Ngannou, a battle that could have been the greatest heavyweight clash of all time. But it never happened. Why? According to Dana White, it wasn't Jones who backed out, but Ngannou. White claims that Jon Jones was not only willing to fight Ngannou, but that he was eager for it, ready to do to him what he did to Cyril Gane. Imagine the confidence, the bravado, of a man who truly believes he can dismantle the most feared knockout artist the UFC has ever seen. But instead, Ngannou left the UFC, choosing not to re-sign after his contract ended, citing disrespect and irreconcilable differences with the promotion. The dream fight vanished, leaving fans to wonder what could have been. But the story doesn't end there. In a bizarre twist, the UFC released a promotional video that highlighted the three kings of Africa, conspicuously omitting Ngannou. Was this a deliberate snub, or just an unfortunate oversight? Dana White denies any involvement, but the question lingers, is there more to this story than we're being told? And how does it tie back to Jon Jones and the future of the heavyweight division? But the shadow of Ngannou's departure and the missed opportunity still looms large. How does this affect the perception of Jones' legacy? And does the UFC's handling of Ngannou create a new narrative around their next big heavyweight bout? Let's get down to business. How would a fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall actually go down? Jones is a master of the Octagon, with a reach and fight IQ that have left even the best fighters baffled. He's the kind of athlete who can adapt on the fly, turning an opponent's strength into their downfall. But Aspinall is no ordinary fighter. He's fast, he's powerful, and he's hungry. His recent knockout of Curtis Blaydes was a statement, a warning that he's not just here to compete, but to conquer. The question is, can Jones handle Aspinall's speed and striking? And can Aspinall find a way to crack the code that has made Jones seemingly invincible? This is the kind of matchup that keeps fans up at night, playing out the scenarios in their heads. Will it be the old lion fending off the young challenger, or is it time for the torch to be passed to a new king? Aspinall's style is what makes this fight so intriguing. He's a big man who moves like a middleweight, with the power to end fights in an instant and the technical skills to outclass even the most seasoned veterans. On the other hand, Jones is a tactician, known for his ability to analyze his opponents and exploit their weaknesses. His reach advantage and experience in title fights give him an edge that's hard to overlook. But Aspinall's momentum and fearlessness could be the perfect antidote to Jones' calculated approach. The stakes in this potential fight are enormous. For Jon Jones, this isn't just another title defense. It's a chance to leave the sport as the undisputed GOAT, unchallenged and undefeated at heavyweight. But if he loses to Aspinall, it could tarnish his legacy, raising questions about whether he should have walked away after the Miocic fight. A loss could be the one blemish that haunts him forever. For Tom Aspinall, this fight is the opportunity of a lifetime. Imagine being the man who dethrones Jon Jones, the fighter who ends the GOAT's reign. A win here doesn't just make Aspinall the undisputed champion, it cements his place in history as the man who did what no one else could. The UFC is on the edge of its seat, with Dana White promising to do everything possible to make this fight happen if Jones defeats Miocic. But can Aspinall handle the pressure? And more importantly, will Jon Jones actually follow through on this fight, or will the allure of retirement prove too strong? The stakes go beyond the fighters themselves. The outcome of this fight could reshape the heavyweight division and influence the UFC's marketing strategy for years to come. Will Jones' departure leave a void that Aspinall can fill, or will the division struggle to find a new star? And how will fans respond to the changing of the guard? The implications of this fight are far-reaching, touching on everything from legacy to the future of the sport. Chapter 6: The Aftermath, the Future of the UFC. No matter what happens, if Jones wins, he might ride off into the sunset, leaving behind a legacy that's nearly untouchable. But if Aspinall wins, the heavyweight division enters a new era, with a new king at the helm. But this fight isn't just about the fighters. It's about the UFC's future. How will the promotion handle the narratives? Will they finally put to rest the lingering questions about Ngannou? And how will fans react to the outcome? Will they embrace Aspinall as the new face of the heavyweight division, or will the shadow of Jon Jones continue to loom large over the sport? The UFC has a lot riding on this fight, especially in the wake of Ngannou's departure and Jones' potential retirement. How they navigate these storylines will shape the future of the heavyweight division and the organization as a whole. Will they be able to build a new superstar in Aspinall, or will the division struggle to regain its former glory? The aftermath of this fight could be just as impactful as the fight itself, setting the stage for the next chapter in UFC history. So there you have it, a fight that could define a generation, shape legacies, and change the UFC forever. But what do you think? Can Jones cement his GOAT status with one last epic victory, Or is Aspinall ready to take the throne? Drop your predictions in the comments below, smash that like button if you're hyped for this fight, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest moments in MMA history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.